What's up, guys? So today we're going to install a Billet Technologies oil catch can on our Demon. Here it is right here. I got it red anodized with black fittings. They make a nice product. I used to use JLT oil catch can, but I like the quality of the Billet Technology one better. I actually have the Billet Technology one on my Hellcat here. They work really good. I recommend using these on any supercharged or turbocharged or boosted cars. It definitely collects that blow-by oil that you don't want getting back into your intake or supercharger in this case. So before we get started here, I'll show you guys where we're going to mount the oil catch can. We're going to use this bolt here coming off the water pump. I believe that's what that is there, but this bolt here behind the pulley, that's where we're gonna mount it, and then we're gonna remove. You don't use this. This is gonna come off. We're gonna remove this line here. What this does is basically transfers any unused or unburned oil that's on top of your valve cover or on top of your head here. Basically goes back into the intake, and that's what we're gonna prevent. That's what we don't want. That's what we want the oil catch can to catch instead of going back into the intake or supercharger rather on this setup here. So let's get started. So I went ahead and opened up the catch can for you guys just to show you what this does. Basically it's a filtration system. As you can see in there, it almost looks like a bottom of an oil filter. So that's what it does. Basically it stops the unburned oil or contaminants to go back into your intake. So that's what we're going to install today, the Billet Technology oil catch can. I'll leave a link in the description below on where you guys can order these from. I will say that lead time is about 20 business days, and then on top of that, if you get a color, special anodized color, it takes like a month to get. I ordered this in March and just now received it, and it's the end of May. So it took about 2.5 months for us to get our oil catch can from Billet Technologies. Now I don't want to knock the company because they do make great products. I just wish their ship time and lead time was a lot less, because waiting 2 months for a car part, as you guys may know, it's really hard. So in the kit, you get the oil catch can, obviously. You get 2 hoses, and you get the fittings to go on the top of the valve cover and on the intake snout there. So you get that, you get a lock washer and nut to go on the bolt there. That's how we're gonna mount this. And then you got this fitting here, which I'll show you where that goes in a minute. It's gonna clamp to that. So first things first, you're gonna wanna remove your, top of the valve cover here, this plastic piece. You're gonna wanna remove that, get that out of your way so that you can take the line off of the fittings here and here. So basically on this fitting, it basically went like that. This one here, you just pull back on this tab here and then pull it to the left and it comes right off. For this one, the one that was on this fitting, you have to turn it around. You can turn it around on the car, and basically this little tab here you pull back on and then pull forward, and it opens up the plastic fitting here, and you're able to pull right up on it and it pulls right off. So this part here we are not going to use anymore, so we can set that aside. Next, you're going to want to put your hose on your fittings first, the 2 fittings that go on the car, that go to the car, and then last you'll want to put the fittings on the actual catch can itself. But first you want to put the hoses on the fittings that you're going to be using to put back on the car here. And just like that, it's on and clipped. As long as your clips are all the way to the bottom, you're good to go. Same with this one here. You're going to want to route it underneath here and behind that wiring harness there, and then it slides right on the fitting and snaps on. As soon as it snaps and the prongs are all the way to the end, you're good to go. You're going to want to use a 17mm wrench, preferably a ratchet wrench, to fit down in here to put this nut on. That's the size that the nut is to hold the bracket on to this bolt here. So once you get your bracket mounted, go ahead and connect the tubes on both sides and you're good to go. Make sure the longer tube is used for this back one here, the one that goes to the snout of the intake, and the shorter one to the top of the valve cover. And just like that, you're done. This is a very easy install, guys. It only took me about literally 5 minutes to do it. It requires no modification at all. It's literally bolt-ons. Like I said, just make sure you use the longer hose, actually the longer hose in the back, and then the shorter hose up front here. And that's all, guys. That's it. If any of you Demon owners are wondering what tires to put on the front so that you can save your drag radials that come on the front for the rear as like a spare set of rear drag radials, because you don't need drag radials in the front, we went ahead and experimented on this tire here. This is a Nitto NT05, not the R. So it's the same tread pattern as the drag radial. It just has a harder compound and won't wear as fast. And also it's not as sticky, so you won't get rock chips and rocks flinging all down the side of the car. Now, if you own a wide body or a Demon, you'll know what I'm talking about. But with the drag radials on the front, these things just flung rocks. Even with our rock guards, the rear fender flare here was getting peppered with rocks. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but that's clear broad, fortunately. But it definitely, with the drag radials on the front, it flung rocks and still chipped the back fender flares. So yeah, these are 295, 45, 18s, and if you were wondering if a 295 was too narrow for the 11-inch wide wheel that comes on the Demon, it is not. As you can see, the tire is not even stretched, maybe a little bit, but not anywhere near stretched in my book. But it looks really good on there, and you won't have to worry about the rocks flinging up because these tires aren't as sticky as the drag radial compound. So I recommend getting a set of these. What's wrong, boss? He won't let you in the Demon? We'll go for a ride in the Demon? What's wrong? You're so angry. What's wrong? So that's going to complete today's video, guys. Make sure you browse the channel and subscribe. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Peace.